Ever went to the gym and realized you forgot your belt, your straps, or even worse, your headphones? Oh my god. I've been hundreds of times to the gym, and every single time I forget something, my session is just wrecked. So in this video, I'm talking about the essentials, the must-have I always take with me in my gym bag to the gym. So let's dive in. First things first, this is now empty, but normally I always take my protein and some creatine, and then I mix it up. I shake for after the training, post-workout. Of course, for water, I only drink water during my sessions. Maybe during my endurance sessions, I drink something else, but for gym sessions, it's just water. And before, I eat like a banana or like a fruit or something like that. So I make it very easy. Honestly, I don't never ever have tried pre-workout. I'm just a little afraid. I don't know. No, I'm joking. But if I'm going in the morning, I'm just taking coffee. That's it. And I want to try the pre-workout, so I'm going to try it, but I've never tried it before. Water, my badge. Of course, I always take my Garmin with me. Very, 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 very important. So I take this with me, and the headphones. These two are the essentials of every workout. I cannot forget this. So I'm never forgetting this. Then my gym bag is pretty full, but honestly, right now, I'm not taking too much to the gym because most of the things I need are at the gym. So that's good. But let's take a look. First of all, the elastic band, super important for the warm-up. I really like this one because every movement you're doing, if you're going to start with a pull movement or with a push movement, you can do this to just warm up, the same movement you're doing, but with the elastic to warm up and then going into the set and warming up with your sets and everything. So this is just generally mobility, warm up, everything. And also to help you with some other exercises which are more difficult, for example, the pull-ups or even the Nordic hamstrings. I don't do this with these ones, but I do this with the bigger ones because the Nordic hamstrings are really hard. So elastics, but as I said, right now I have all the elastics I need at the gym. So I have like the small ones, I have like in between, I have even in between, and then I have the bigger ones, bigger than those. Then the straps, these are very essentials. I have two types of straps. These ones, you put them like this, you roll them over the bar when you're going to do like a pull movement. Very useful, the pull movement. It's because sometimes, you know, your grip is not as strong as your back or your arms, and then your grip is giving up very easily. I feel like I'm giving up on my grip, but I really felt a difference pushing or pulling with this and pulling without. I felt like I could do easily 3, 4, 5 more reps with these on and going through my sets, going to failure for my back, for example. So very useful. But these are the light ones. I don't really like them. They're useful, but I prefer these ones. These ones are much better. So the idea is that you put them like this, and then the bar, you put the bar here, and then you do it like this. Imagine my arm is the bar, and then you can grab it here and then just pull. So it's just much easier, but I lost one. But at the gym, I have good ones too. So I use those of the gym. So the straps, very important for the pull movements. For example, when I'm doing pendlay rows or very heavy rows, I'm using the straps. Not always, but yeah, when I'm going heavy. Then the belt. When I'm doing my squats, heavy squats, I like to use my belt. Even though my form is pretty good, my back is always right. To make sure when it's very heavy, to make sure I don't bend my back, I would like to use this. I'm not always using it for every single leg exercise because, for example, when I'm doing my RDLs, I don't like to use these because it gives me like a wrong position to do the RDLs. I cannot explain it right away, but yeah, it doesn't help me. It gives me just more pain when I'm doing RDLs, but it helps when I'm doing heavy squats or maybe the hack squat, maybe if I'm going very heavy. So these ones, very important. And at the gym, we also have those, but there is no belts at my size. So much bigger or much smaller. So I bring mine. And in fact, I have two pairs of belts. I have these ones and I have like the scratch ones. These ones are just very simple, like a real belt. Even these ones, I put them at the max or almost at the max. And then it's good. The other one are scratch, also very good. I don't have like a preference, but it's not like I prefer the one or the other, but yeah, I just leave them both in the car and then I use the one I want to use, mostly only for leg day. Moving on. Oh, this one has been with me for a long time, and now you're asking why is there a rope? Okay, so the reason, and there's a good reason. So the reason is I wanted to take this with me to Colombia. Normally I have a chain for this. I bought it with a chain, but going to Colombia, I wanted to take this because I was pretty sure I wasn't going to have this for my weighted pull-ups or weighted dips. So instead of, my father gave me this rope, which is less heavy, just much lighter and as strong as the chain, maybe even stronger. So I like to use this one. It's a little bit long, but it does the work. And at the gym we have one, but I think I'm going to use this bag because I prefer mine compared to the one at the gym. Very useful for weighted dips, very useful for weighted pull-ups. I've seen a lot of people struggle how to use this. Put that here. Then what I like to do is I have like one like this to really close it to my body, so it always stays close to my body. And then I have one with the rope, and this one is just going depending on how I'm standing. If I have box or not a box, I'm using the whole length of the rope, but otherwise I just use it like this, going into the kettlebell or even into the plates, and then rubbing it up, putting it here. It's heavy, and then doing my pull-up or my dip, just fine as this. And then make sure that the rope is always very secure. That's it, easy. All right, moving on. We're getting to the end already, but I have gloves with me. Honestly, these gloves have been with me in all my gym bags since probably 2020, not even 2020, since 2017, 2018, always in my gym bag. And I've not used them since 2020, to be honest. I've used them before in the past when I was doing a lot of calisthenics, and you know, when my hands were a little tinier, I got some things over here, and I didn't like that, so I used the gloves. Right now I'm not having that as much, so not using the gloves, but in any case I'm always keeping them here. So moving on, I have the liquid shock. Honestly, again, same thing with the gloves. I never use it, but I always have it with me. But it's bought in 2019, and the expired date was 2025. So you see, I have it for a long time. I only used it when I was like into my calisthenics phase stuff and doing a lot of things outside, but I didn't use it at the gym because I don't like to get everything messy and then I need to clean up, and you know, it's not my thing. And with these straps, when you pull, it's more than enough, in my opinion, for now. I don't know, but yeah, probably throwing this away. Ultra grip, goodbye. All right, then I have everything, my toiletry, everything in here to take a shower. Nothing special in here. I really prefer to take a shower over there because then it's done, and then I don't need to care about anything. I don't need to go sweaty into my car. I just go take my shower, maybe take a sauna, and then going home, relaxed and in peace. And honestly, oh, these ones, I don't take a shower without these. It's because of hygiene. These ones are super important because I don't take a shower without these. That's a fact. And then that's pretty much it, honestly. Did I forget something? I don't know. These are all the items I really use all the time at the gym. Of course, I'm not using the belt all the time. I'm not using the grip, this strap all the time, depending on the workout. So mostly and only for pull things. This only for squats or really heavy things when I'm doing with the legs and I don't want to bend the back, of course. My bottle is always with me. I have two like these, so I wash them and I interchange those. The elastics, super important. These, super important as well, because I will always do like weighted pull-ups or weighted dips. So just the basics of the things I have here. And then pretty much it. That's what's in my gym bag. Right now I have a overkilled gym bag, so really big. But I really don't understand people that have a gym bag half the size of mine and can carry everything they need to, like a backpack. This bag is always full. Like I have my clothes in it, and I don't know. I really don't understand, but it's easy. I'm sure I have everything. I'm sure I'm always good. I'm sure I can do my training easily, and I'm sure I can shower easily. Let me know in the comment what's a must-have you always need to carry on with you in your gym bag to the gym all the time. Tell me what's the one thing only. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some ideas, and to not forget what you need at the gym every single time, because it's very important to take your trainings very seriously. By the way, I'm doing one-on-one coaching, so if you're interested, DM me on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm happy to help. And with that said, let's get jacked together.